I love that you did ushering. I need ushers. We need ushers. We really do, actually, in the mornings. I love your personality. It was so engaging. It made what could be a difficult message to hear so enjoyable to hear. Although now we have to respond. That part's still difficult. But yeah, I loved your personality and the way you did it. I love the way you engaged us with even going, okay, how many people have ushered? It's that interaction both ways that I really enjoyed. Great content. I don't know if I loved it or not. It was excellent. It was painful. I loved your analogy with the carpet. Thought you could have worked that a little bit longer. That
It was
just
just a picture I had from the Lord, so I haven't really thought about it. But
Yeah.
it literally just happened. In this class, I was like, whoa,
No, stuff happens that way. So pause and ask for more. With a wordless prayer, and then that's such a phenomenal way to demonstrate what you're asking us to do and what the Lord asks us to do. So I love that you brought that because it's just such a different illustration. Authority with humility, that was a great line. You used one of your best lines at the end, look like your husband. Yeah, because the root issue, the whole offense of the gospel is we don't really want to be like Jesus. So that was a great line. You could have used earlier, mixed with the carp. I mean, there's all kind of great content, great things there. I would let the mic cord go because I don't know if you're nervous on the front end. You're grabbing this, and I want to make a comment that's not related to you, but is general. Okay. So this is not a Margaret criticism. In general, be very aware of using computers when you're speaking to people. The reason is we all tend to stare at screens. I don't know why. Like, I don't know the science, but we all tend to stare at screens. Like, you notice you're having a meeting with somebody, you go into their office, and they're just staring at the screen, and you're talking, and you're like, would you please close the lid on that freaking thing? But I don't even know why you're staring at it. We just tend to stare at the screen. Two things. One, stare at the screen, and secondly, just the practical, and again, Margaret did this, but the practicals of navigating the screen. In other words, now the screensaver came on. Now I got to put on you ever seen that? The guy's, he's a hipster, so he brought his iPad instead of his notes, but then 10 minutes into his points, he's going, oh, wait a minute. Because the whole thing locked, or whatever you call it, screensaver mode, and now he's got to put his code in, and now he's trying to scroll because he doesn't know. So you can do it, there's nothing wrong with it, but just be aware of all that stuff when you get up there. Don't stare at it and deal with the whatever. And that goes for paper notes too, like don't bring 30 pages of paper notes like I did a New Testament survey, and then you're kind of like going, wait a minute, are we on page 4 or 5, 6, and you're flipping handouts. So anyway, good job. I would say I enjoyed it, but it was also convicting, but they've all been that way.
Good job, Margaret. I love your natural humor, like your personality, just so fun, and there hasn't actually been a lot of humor, and because that's not the point, but it's just who you are, and so it was kind of reminding me of like Jen Roberts, where she's just real, you're just being honest and real and fun, but with a weighty word at the same time, and she does that all the time, and so I love that. I loved your questions, just engaging the room. It was like you were our friend up here talking to us, and you just did a great job of like, hey, this is what the Lord's marked me with. I've learned a ton. I loved the bitterness thing. We're just fighting the anger and staying unoffended and not being bitter. I mean, that was huge. You could have preached an hour on that alone. You had these just little points that could have been their own message in and of itself, and you did a great job of weaving those together. Your last line was my favorite in terms of inviting us into a spirit of humility and serving one another, and going, what does that look like for us to serve one another? I would have loved for you to have made us thought about that a little more. You hit the ushering, and then calling us to usher. I wish you would have actually called us more, though I'm glad you didn't. That faith of like, oh gosh, is she gonna do it or is she not? But you just did such a great job of hitting the main themes in your storyline from the beginning to end of the upstate church, who you are, how you got thrown in with the internship, all of it. I loved it. Good job.
Yeah.